Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's make sure you can hear me. Yes, you can. Good morning. Welcome to the 2019 graduate orientation. My name is Dr. Tashima Jones. I am the Assistant Director of Academic Affairs at the Graduate School. With us this morning is Dr. Paula Myrick Short, the Senior Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs here at the University of Houston System, and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost of the University of Houston. Provost Short has undertaken many initiatives at UH. In 2014, she established the UH Graduate School, which provides centralized support for graduate students and graduate education at the University of Houston. Provost Short initiated the Cougar Chairs Leadership Academy for department chairs, the Houston GPS, and many student success initiatives. Please join me in welcoming Provost Short.
Well, welcome. We are delighted that you've joined us as graduate students at the University of Houston. It's just so good to see all of you. Wow, what a big crowd. Are you excited about the new year starting? Yeah, all right. Well, you have the best graduate school folks in the world here to help you get oriented, to answer your questions, and to give you support throughout the year. And I'll offer my support to you also as provost. I am extremely excited that you chose the University of Houston as the place to do your graduate studies, whether you're in a master's program or doctoral program, professional program, you've chosen well. And I know that many of you know this, but I just have to talk a little bit about the city we're in and a little bit about the university, just to show you that you made a really good decision. You're really smart people to choose the University of Houston. First of all, we are a Tier 1 university, and that means that we are one of those identified by the Carnegie Foundation as having superior research and scholarship in our university. Not all universities that exist in this country are considered Tier 1 universities, but we are a Tier 1, Research 1 university here at the University of Houston. But the interesting thing about that is we reside in the fourth largest city in the country, and that's probably no surprise to you if you drive around Houston. All 6 million people seem to get on I-45 at the same time when I'm driving, but it is the fourth largest city in the U.S. We're also very proud of the fact that Houston is considered the most diverse city in the country. The LA Times has identified us as the most diverse. And we also can boast the largest medical center in the world, as well as being the energy capital of the world. And again, very important characteristics of this city that make being here as the University of Houston really, really unique and full of lots of opportunities. I think it's really interesting to learn that over 145 languages are spoken here in Houston. Just continues to suggest that we are quite a diverse city, and that is such a wonderful opportunity for all of us. There are actually over 90 nations represented here with consul general offices in Houston, so we have access to those representatives from 90 countries around the world here in Houston. And many of them connect to the University of Houston and are active with us. In Houston, most children 5 or under speak a language other than English. So again, some of the data that suggests that we have earned that honor of being the most diverse. And again, that's such a characteristic that's so critical and such an opportunity for us. We have over 3,000 international students at the University of Houston, and they come to us enrolled from over 127 different countries. We're consistently ranked among the top 35 universities in the U.S. for the number of international students that choose to come to the University of Houston and get their education. We have 4 areas that we focus on here at the University of Houston, and our primary focus is on student success. It's very important to us that students come, they have a rewarding experience here at the university, and that they graduate. For us, it doesn't work to come and not graduate. We don't want students to have that experience that they decide to leave us, that they're not able to complete their studies. We want to make sure that every student that joins us has every opportunity to graduate. And we monitor that. Those data are data that we constantly monitor, and we work on introducing new strategies and new techniques and new support services to make sure that students have what they need to complete their degree here. So we focus on our global connectiveness, and as you'll learn in your time here, we engage in a lot of study internationally, a lot of travel internationally. We have a lot of programs that you can connect with that would allow you to travel internationally, present internationally, and we focus on that. Our global connection is very, very important to us as a university. We also are a research university, so one of our major efforts here at the university is to not only conduct research, but to disseminate our research findings in so many areas in order to improve and solve problems that we face as a society in all areas. Our work is nationally known. We have national research centers. We are vying for additional research centers on the national level. We have faculty that have won awards, major grants, major recognition for the research that they're doing. So you will, for those of you that will engage in research with a mentor here, you're in good hands, because we have faculty that are very, very highly sought after researchers who are doing groundbreaking work. And it'll be a wonderful opportunity for you to gain experience and learn from them. We also focus on our larger community. It's important to us that we are relevant to Houston, that we help engage in our communities to solve the issues, societal issues, health issues, economic issues that people in Houston face and the larger surrounding area. So we have a number of initiatives ongoing in the Third Ward. We have a number of initiatives that are taking us into the public schools in order to help those communities, in order to help those students in our public schools, in order to solve the health problems of our children in this area. So we're very engaged as a university in improving the life and livelihood of those in our community. A few bragging rights for the university. I am very proud that in 2016 we were chosen to hold a Phi Beta Kappa chapter here at the University of Houston. You know, there are over 4,000 public and private universities in the country, and there are only 284 that have been selected to host a Phi Beta Kappa chapter, and we are one of those. So that's a very strong point of pride for us, and it's very selective. It's the nation's oldest honor society, and membership is limited to those with exceptional academic achievement. Less than 10% of students in liberal arts and social sciences and the sciences are eligible to join Phi Beta Kappa. So those that are invited to join, it is quite an honor and a recognition of their academic achievement. What about rankings? Rankings are important. We talk about football rankings, we talk about basketball rankings, we also talk about rankings of universities. And we look to U.S. News and World Report as one of those that we believe to our external audience suggests where we are as a university and our status. And I'm pleased That we have a number of programs, as you can see on the screen, that are ranked in the top 50 of U.S. News and World Report. We have 11 in the top 50. That's up from last year where we had only 7. So we continue to climb in our rankings, and our Graduate College of Social Work, I don't know how many are here joining that college. Let's see your hands. You should be very proud because the Graduate College of Social Work jumped up 16 spots in U.S. News and World Report rankings last year. We are extremely proud of that college and the reputation that it has nationally in the rankings. We are constantly adding new degree programs. These are some that we've added this past year that you see. We're particularly excited about the new doctoral program that we were able to add, our new PhD in Communication Sciences and Disorders. It's a brand new degree that we're launching, and we're extremely proud of the fact that we're able to offer that to our students. We have a very well-known master's program in this area, so to be able to add a doctoral program for students to move into the doctoral work, we're very excited about. As I mentioned, we are a global university, so we work hard to give students an opportunity to travel globally in their educational pursuit. And so we have opportunities for what we call learning abroad. And we have increased that number this past year to 35 different trips that faculty and students have taken. The photo that you see here on the screen are some of our students and faculty who went on a faculty-led program to the Galapagos. And from all I hear, they had a great time. It was a great experience. But that's just one of many. We have another group that's come back from other parts of the world and share with us and decide they want to go back and take more with them, take more friends with them, because it was such a great experience. One thing that you may have heard that we're very excited about is the fact that we're opening a new College of Medicine at the University of Houston. We have approval to open a medical school, and we will, when we complete the total accreditation process, we'll be looking to admit our first class of medical students in fall of 2020. So stay on board with us on that. That may intrigue some of you to want to consider looking at the medical school and what it offers to you. It's primarily focused on health disparities. It's focused on the health care of Texans. It will focus on interdisciplinary research and particularly primary care, preparing physicians who will want to work in primary care in that field, particularly because of the focus on solving community health problems. So we're very excited about that program. And a couple of things that I might mention here at the end is the fact that we have lots of student scholarships and student awards that we're very, very proud of. And you can see from the screen, again, the increase in those numbers among our undergraduate students in particular, who gain these national and international recognitions by fellowships and scholarships. And the numbers just keep increasing. Particularly impressive, I think, are the number of Fulbright U.S. student scholarships that we have here. I served as a Fulbright specialist several years ago and found that to be a very rewarding experience, and that's something for those of you that as you move through your work and as you assume positions and learn about your particular area, there could be Fulbrights in other countries where you share your expertise with others. This past year, I'm very proud to say that we produced more Fulbright scholars than other universities such as BYU, Caltech, Cornell, Georgia Tech, Rice, Texas A&M, TCU, and Texas Tech. So how is that for bragging rights? So again, welcome to all of you. I'm just delighted you're here. I look forward to, if I don't know you already, I look forward to getting to know you better this year. As I said, my door is always open And again, we're so glad you chose to come to the University of Houston, because I know your contributions to our efforts to be a top-tier university, our efforts to be prominent nationally and internationally. You'll help us achieve that. So good luck to you. Welcome again. Go Cougs. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Provost Short, for that amazing welcome. We certainly appreciate it. Again, I am the Assistant Director for the Graduate School, and I happen to be under the great leadership of our Dean, Dr. Sarah Larson, who will be up next to present to you. So please welcome the Dean of the Graduate School, Dr. Sarah Larson.
Good morning. Let me add my warm welcome to all of you here. I met a few of you before we started the session this morning, and I look forward to meeting more of you as we go through the day. The University of Houston is a public Carnegie Tier 1 research university with approximately 9,000 graduate and professional students. So you are joining over 1,800 new graduate and professional students this fall. Your classmates come from 38 different states in the US and 83 different countries. Collectively, you are studying over 100 different academic areas. Your graduate experience at the University of Houston will be enriched by the diversity of your fellow students and the diversity of the subjects that you're studying. Across the country, educational level is on the rise. A recent Census Bureau study indicated that in 2018, 13% of the population over 25 has an advanced graduate degree, and that is up from 8.6% in 2008. So we are really seeing a rising number of our citizens getting advanced degrees. Now, why? Why are so many people getting advanced degrees? Well, there's a survey that took place recently by the Gallup poll, and they surveyed undergraduates at their reasons for wanting to attend graduate school. And the top reason was passion or interest in the field. The second one was high-paying jobs, and the third was advancement opportunities. So I hope that you can then see some of your the reasons that you wanted to come to graduate school reflected in this. I think of particular interest to me was that number one was passion or interest for the field that you're studying, and I hope that all of you are looking forward to following your passion and interest here at the University of Houston. So I'm sure that you're all very excited about the start of this new chapter of your education. But I suspect that many of you may also be feeling some uncertainty about your new surroundings, the challenges that you encounter. The few students I had a chance to meet, some were familiar with Houston, had lived here for a while, others were brand new to the area. We hope that this orientation will increase the excitement that you're feeling and alleviate some of your uncertainty and answer some of the questions that you might have. As you'll see this morning, our goal is that you'll learn about the many resources on campus that are available to help you navigate graduate school. So as I mentioned, we have 9,000 graduate and professional students. We have over 46,000 students in total. So it's a very large campus, and that can be somewhat intimidating, but it can also be an advantage because we have a lot of resources and a lot of activities and different things going on that you'll hear about. So just keep in mind, as you go through this morning and this afternoon, the following four pieces of advice. So the first one is explore the curriculum, get to know your graduate program and the expectations of that graduate program. Graduate school is different from your undergraduate, but you have an opportunity to be innovative and creative in your research and scholarship and to really follow your passion. Second, engage with the campus community and the greater Houston community. Establish a strong network. Campus events such as this one are an excellent opportunity to make connections, to meet students outside of your program that you're in. Third, learn about the many resources available to you in your department or program, in the graduate school, across campus, and beyond. Use these resources. You'll hear about some this morning and you'll say, oh, I don't really need that, or I'm not interested in it. But take notes about it, because it might be something that in 6 months, in 3 months, in a year, might be of interest to you and important to you. And finally, last but certainly not least, enjoy. The University of Houston and the global city of Houston have a great deal to offer you. Arts, culture, food, sports, whatever your interest might be, I think you'll find lots to do here. So let me tell you, before I finish, a little bit about this morning and what we have lined up. So we have 3 sessions for you this morning. First, we have a panel addressing academic and administrative information and questions that you might have. We have a graduate student panel. That's always great, a great source of advice for students, hearing from your fellow students who've been here a year or 2 or 3. And then a panel of health and wellness campus professionals. After these panels are over, we'll have a campus resources expo and lunch. And then after lunch, there's an optional session for those of you that are interested on research resources, including an environmental health and safety training session for new graduate teaching and research assistants who will be working in laboratories. So why don't we now get started with the first panel of the morning. If the panelists for the Academic Affairs panel could join me on the stage. So while they're coming up, I want to point out one thing to you. We're going to collect questions by this Mentimeter. So you'll see at the bottom of the screen, you can go to menti.com, and if you use the code 881703, it's up on the screens. You can see it up there. You can submit any questions that you have, and we'll try to answer as many of those questions as we can during these morning's panels.
910782 didn't change up there.
Oh, sorry. That's 910782.
Yeah, now it's right.
Oh, now it's right. We must have updated that. So if you have questions, just get that entered into your phone. Okay, everybody's up here. So I will start by asking each panelist on our panel, our first panel, to introduce themselves with their name, their title, and the primary responsibilities of their position.
I don't know how to work the microphone. Thank you, Sherry. Again, I am Tashima Jones. I am the Assistant Director for the Graduate School. So my role, most of your petitions will come to me. If you are updating your plan stack or something that your graduate advisor needs from the graduate school. So again, most of your petitions will come my way. I've been in this role for since October, almost a year. Prior to that, I was in the communications department. What else? If you have any questions, just let me know. We're right over there in E. Cullen in room 102. Please feel free to always stop by and say hello.
And I'm Sherry Corprew. I know you want to hear from me because I'm the money person. And so anything money related, and typically my biggest program that I manage is the GTF. So for those of you that are a graduate tuition fellowship recipient or presidential or Houston endowment, that's really what I work with. But I typically work on the finance side.
Good morning and welcome to UH. My name is Ayo Ogunye. I'm a career counselor. I work with the Maine University Career Services Office. I work with alumni, I work with graduate students. I am also the liaison for international students, and I work with students with disabilities. So you really want to get to know us in our office from day one, because we are the ones that will help you get your return on investment.
Thank you. I'm Sean Washington, Assistant Director, Admissions for the Graduate School Department. I process pretty much your academic information, your transcripts. We go through and do outreach as far as marketing, recruitment, and just partner with everybody within the graduate school department and other departments here at the university. And we'll get into a little bit more housekeeping items that we have for you about how to best get you into your classes.
Okay, so I'm going to go over some important information for you. I won't read through the entire slides. You can kind of skim through them yourself. So the University of Houston is a student self-serve community. What I mean by that is that you, as a graduate student, have the ability to add and drop your classes, make payments online, updating your contact information, applying to graduate on time, parking permits. And so just a little tip, you really do need to go into your MyUH account pretty often just to make sure that there are no updates, emails, check everything over. Especially contact information is really important, especially what you want to have on your degree or transcript. So there's 4 levels to the to your structure, to your graduate studies. You've got your academic program, which is, I'm gonna move this over just a little bit, which is your home base. This is where your academic or graduate advisor, faculty advisor is. And then you have your department, that's your field of study. You've got your college, that's where your major is, and this is where the dean of the college is. And then you have, of course, the University of Houston. So you cannot graduate the University of Houston without a 3.0. Students must maintain a 3.0 throughout their graduate studies. Make sure that you are checking with your department because your department may have stricter stipulations than that. So make sure that you are really have a good connection with your faculty advisor, your graduate advisor as well. Students who receive at least 12 semester credit hours of a B minus, you cannot graduate. You will be dismissed from your program and you cannot re-enroll in any program at the University of Houston. Grades below C does not count. There are 3 professional programs that have different grading requirements. That is going to be law, optometry, and the pharmacy. So there are time limitations here at the University of Houston. For a master's student, you have to graduate within 5 years. So that is 2024 for you. And if you are a doctoral student, that's 10 years, and that would be 2029. So the degree completion clocks do not stop if you take a leave of absence or a medical leave. And if you exceed the 99, you have 99 credit hours. If you exceed that, if you get to 100, you will be charged a non-residential rate. So make sure that you, again, keeping up with your hours, with your grades. You know, your faculty advisor and your graduate advisor is there to assist you, but it is ultimately your decision. It is up to you. It is your responsibility to make sure that you are keeping up with this information. So you are expected to enroll in the fall and the spring semester. Unless there are extraordinary circumstances, you can request a leave of absence. There being a death in the family, someone has fallen ill, you have to take care of an immediate family member. We definitely understand. Being a graduate student at one point in time myself, I completely understand. I have sat where you've sat before, and things do happen, and that's when you will go to your graduate advisor and ask them to assist you, not do it for you, but assist you in completing that paperwork to get that started. And again, it does not stop the clock for you. And remember, students that are on leave of absence or medical leave, you may not have all of the amenities and the services at the University of Houston. Some of those will cease. And again, taking a leave of absence does not extend the time clock. And international students, you must go to ISO. And this is our graduate school website, uh.edu/gs, and the graduate catalog is online. Again, my name is Tashima. If you have any questions, please let me know.
All right, thank you. So this is University Career Services. I'm just going to give a quick overview, and it is a quick overview. I would encourage you to come to the office and talk to one of the career counselors so you can have, an in-depth knowledge of what we offer or how we can help you as your time here at the University of Houston. So this is just an overview of services. First of all, I want to say that we are the Central University of Houston Career Services Office. What do I mean by that? So the colleges of engineering, technology, the law school, social work, and business, they have a standalone career office. So what that means is that you can actually use those services and you can actually use our services too. What is the difference between the two? We outreach to different employers. So for example, if we have a career fair or we have an event and we have a particular employer attend, they may not, the other departments or the other schools may not have those employers there. So you have the option of using both services. How you can connect with us, that is Tiffany Beaton. She's the Associate Director. She and I work with graduate students. So if you need any assistance, if you need to talk more about what you need from us or how we can help you from the beginning, that's our email. You can write it down, take a picture of the slide if you want, or you can check us out on the website and send us an email and we can schedule an appointment to meet with you. So what do we offer? We offer individual career counseling appointments. So you can schedule a one-on-one time to meet with either myself or Tiffany. And these are some of the things that we do. We help you with your LinkedIn profile, how to make that work. I hear people say all the time that LinkedIn doesn't work. It probably doesn't work because you don't know how to work LinkedIn. So this is an opportunity for you to come to us and we can show you how to do that. We also offer tips and technique on how to network. We do have employers that come in and partner with us in some of the programs we have just to do some networking events also. Mock interviews. That's very important because if you have a good resume, if you have a good CV, if you're not able to go to an interview and ace that interview and get through the interview, then you probably will not get a job offer. Now, talking about resumes and CVs, there's a difference between the two. And oftentimes people get that confused. So when you schedule that one-on-one appointment with us, we can tell you what the differences are, what you need for whatever you're looking for. Salary negotiation, that's a big one. Everyone needs to go to that workshop at some point, just so that you know that you're actually able to market yourself, the skills and the values and the education that you have, and you're able to compete in the marketplace to get what you're worth. Then we offer group career workshops and what we call our programming weeks, and this is over the course of the semester. We have what we call a professional development week. It's a whole week long of activities. And we partner with employers to do a resume review, mock interviews, LinkedIn profile. One of the things that we offer during this week is actually what we call LinkedIn at the library. So we're there, we help people set up their LinkedIn profiles, or for people who already have a profile, we'll go through the profile. We offer free professional headshots so that your LinkedIn profile looks good. We give you feedback. And again, like I said, employers partner with us, so you will be getting feedback from employers who hopefully someday you will be applying to work with them. For our STEM week, we also have a STEM career week, and we offer, again, partner with STEM employers to review resumes, networking with them, and we usually have this prior to the week that we have a STEM career fair. And then we have the All Majors Career Fair, Energy Career Fair, and oftentimes about 2 or maybe 3 times a week we have employer meet and greets. Cougar Pathways. So this is what you really need to do. If you have your devices on you, please go to Access UH, and then you will see this icon, the Cougar Pathway icon. Without access to Cougar Pathway, you're not going to be able to RSVP for any events that we put together. You're not going to be able to apply for any jobs that is posted by employers. So really, what is Cougar Pathway? Cougar Pathway is our online database, and this is for current students and for alumni subscribers. And let me tell you a little bit about who alumni subscribers are. Once a student graduates from the University of Houston, they have 6 months grace period that they can continue to access our services, meaning that they can attend our events, we can review their resumes, we can connect them with employers and whatnot. After 6 months, they no longer have access. For them to continue to have access, they would have to pay $50 for an additional 6 months. We hope that you don't get to that point, because we hope that you get what you're looking for before graduation and within that 6 months grace period. So Cougar Pathway is where you apply for on-campus jobs, internships, or full-time jobs. A lot of employers that reach out to us, the very first thing we tell them is refer them to Cougar Pathway and have them post their jobs. So if you're looking for work, you should go to Cougar Pathway and apply through Cougar Pathway. Now, this is what happens with Cougar Pathway. Once you begin to create your profile, you should upload a resume. Once you upload a resume, two things will happen. You either get an email from us saying that, congratulations, your resume has been uploaded. You can go ahead and apply for any jobs that you see that is of interest to you. Or you probably get an email that says, please contact our office so we can help you review your resume. That means that that resume needs some work. We want to be able to make sure that whatever you upload, it's the right document that will get you what you're looking for. Our Cougar Pathway is also where you RSVP for most of the events or all of the events that we have, and then you schedule your career counseling appointments. Save the date. This is not all the programs we have, but this is some of our major programs. You can take a picture of this, or you can go to our website and then you can see this. So this is just a reminder of the programs we have and the dates. The JCPenney Suit Up event, I'm very excited about that, because what that is opportunity for you to shop at JCPenney. Most of you may not know what JCPenney is, but if you Google JCPenney, it's a good place that you can get a lot of good stuff. And so on this day, JCPenney does this event just for University of Houston students, staff, and faculty, and we get 70 to 80% off. So this will be a good opportunity for you to buy your business attire as you get ready for career fair. And the good thing about it is you can bring family, friends, neighbors, whatever. You just have to be a UH student. How do you connect with us? We have a virtual chats, and this is just a quick 10 minutes where you can log on if you have a quick question, or if you want us to just take a quick peek at your resume. Like I said, it's quick. It's 10 minutes or less. And we offer that Mondays and Fridays from 1 to 4 p.m. However, we have our drop-ins every day. Monday and Tuesdays, we have drop-in hours from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Again, that's about 15, maybe 20 minutes. It's not a whole lot of time, depending on what you're looking for. But if you just need a quick resume review, or you have a quick question, or you have a quick question about an employer, or anything that is related to your career, we can help with that. And then on Wednesdays and Thursdays, it's from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. But then if you need that one-on-one, more time focused on whatever you're looking for, then we do encourage you to schedule an appointment. How do you find us, or where are we? We are in the Student Service Center. It gets a little bit confusing. This is the Student Center. This is not where we are. We are in the Student Service Center. You can see that map. And as you get familiar with the campus, you'll know where it is. For those of you that have been to the testing center, we are in the same building as the testing center. And if you have any questions, I will have more resources during the Resource Expo later on today. Thank you.
Hello again, Sean Washington, Graduate School Department Admissions. Let me go forward. For those individuals that still have a hold on their account, specifically a R62 hold, this message is for you, okay? This is how, I'll go through the process how to remove that hold, but quickly, let's just quickly define it. For domestic students, you must provide, obviously, your final transcript with a degree conferred on it, so we can go ahead and process that transcript, and then that hold will be removed for the domestic students. For the international students, you will have to meet with our international transcript team. They will evaluate your mark sheets and your certifications and make sure that the process of evaluating your previous academic history is equal, obviously, to the standards of a U.S. bachelor's or master's degree, okay? R62s are automatically inputted on your account. Again, once you submit your final documentation, the system will remove that hold within 24 hours, okay? One other thing, we are currently having ISSO check-ins in the Student Center. If you have not already been, you will have the opportunity after orientation today to go for the international students and sit down with them and submit your final certifications and mark sheets. For domestic students, you definitely want to get your information turned into the graduate school department as soon as possible. Let me see, is there anything? Also, if you have a unique situation, if you just finished or graduated from another program from another school, if you're a domestic student, for example, and you will not get your final transcripts prior to school starting next week, you can submit a petition. The way you submit the petition is you contact your individual academic department or your individual college advisor, and they will in turn submit a petition to the grad school department. We will review the petition, understand or review the reasonings behind the petition, and we will determine if we can give you the prior degree verification waiver, which will release the hold and you're eligible to start selecting your courses for the fall term. Okay, same process works for the international students. International students, you just need to check in with our international transcript team, and then they will give you the same advice. Contact your individual academic department and your individual college advisor, okay? I'm not gonna ask for a show of hands who has this hold. I don't wanna embarrass you, but let's make sure that we're all on the same page, make sure that you guys understand the process. I'll be hanging out. If you have any individual questions, please contact me. If not, contact the transcript team for international students. Thank you.
All right, you ready for the money? Yes, I know you are. All right, so we put everything, we've done extensive work on our website, and so like Tashima said earlier, keep this bookmarked at uh.edu/GS, and that's where you'll see a graduate funding tab at the top. So you don't have to remember that long link. But there is where you can find the graduate funding, and it has all the information that you could ever ask. And if you see any other information, feel free to send us an email, and we can look to see if we can get that added. But it has questions about graduate assistantships, scholarships, waivers, anything you can think of, external scholarships, the college scholarships. It's all there on that page, and it is very mobile friendly. And so, like I said, it goes through the scholarship opportunities. That's the first thing on that page. That's the page or the scholarships that we manage in the graduate school. Like I said earlier, I manage the Graduate Tuition Fellowship, or GTF, and amongst other ones. Some of you may be interested in the future in like a research incentive. We have one that's our Cullen Fellowship Travel Grant. If you're going to be going to a conference or research and you're going to be presenting your work there, that may be something that you're interested in. So take the time now and look at those opportunities that are available, so you know, because of course a lot of them have deadlines. And then the other question we get a lot are graduate assistantships. So if you already don't have one, you definitely want to start out with your department. Almost everything, even academic related, finance related, admissions related, maybe, but most of it you want to start out with your department. So talk with your academic advisor, your department advisor. It may be different in your areas, but most of those start out with the colleges. There may be some in other areas, like in the graduate school office, we have some graduate assistantships, but you would start at Cougar Pathway for those. You don't need to go visit each individual office because they don't publicize their available graduate assistantships that way. But again, you can find information about those on our website. In-state tuition waivers. So for those of you that are not residents, you know, it depends. There are various things. Again, more information. Again, I'm going to say it can be found on our website. But the in-state tuition waivers, we have two types. One is a competitive scholarship waiver, and that is just as it says. You had to have received a scholarship where it was a competitive process, meaning it was open to resident and non-resident international students, and it has to be at least $1,000 for that. And then there's some other caveats that you don't need to know, but just check with your college or department, because not all scholarships where it's a minimum of $1,000 are eligible for this competitive waiver. So you need to find that out. Just don't assume that just because you have a $1,000 scholarship that it qualifies for this in-state tuition waiver. Another in-state tuition waiver we have are the employment waiver, or TA, teaching or research assistant employment waiver. And so if you meet certain qualifications for that, meaning you're employed in 0.5 FTE, or that's 20 hours a week. You're employed through the semester. You're in a teaching or research assistantship, you could qualify for an employment waiver. Again, go to our website and you can see the requirements for that and that you may qualify. But again, you want to start out with your department because they'll be able to advise you on that process and make sure. Some of you may, most of you should already have had that request submitted to our office, and then we'll get that processed. Payment plans. So everybody know when payment plans or when the fee bill is due for fall? That's today, right? Everybody knows today? Good. I see good. Hopefully everybody's got that taken care of because it is due today. Some of you, I know you may not have your fee bill due yet because you aren't enrolled in classes. That's okay. But just keep in mind, as soon as you get enrolled in classes, your fee bill will be due.
after work on Saturday in the lab and work on it from there. So I think it makes it a lot easier if you can find a group to do homeworks with and study for tests with, because generally one thing I also learned in grad school is that the strategy of just doing all the work yourself and trying to do that timeline out doesn't really work as well. And I kind of built those bad habits in undergrad because a lot of times group work was a little more, we could say, precarious in undergrad, because you never knew kind of what your group mates would end up doing and how they would actually work on the projects. But in grad school, you don't have to worry about that as much. Everybody is working really hard. Everyone elects to go to grad school, and it's a selective process. So all your classmates are probably equally talented, or even more so than yourself, and you could probably fill deficits that they have. And so don't be afraid to rely on your teammates in your graduate programs. It helps you save a lot of time, and obviously it's a lot less stressful, and you'll end up with hopefully a Sunday to sleep in if you work on your homework all day on Saturday.
One of the things I've recently read, which I felt was really impactful, was I heard there should be a time for your work, right? And whatever time you have after coming home and when you have the weekends, think of it as a bonus day. Don't expect that you'll be working on that day, but if you have to work, it's a bonus for you. It's hard to put that into practice, but I'm trying to do that. I think having that expectation that you have to work on weekends, maybe we need to keep it a bit aside. Do other things too, like explore things. It might be hard, but I guess don't have that expectation that you have to work on all the days. Just find some time for yourself.
I would say setting real goals is very important when you start school, and just keeping up with your deadlines and finishing the work the same day is very important so that you don't have things piled up. And yes, you definitely deserve a break, so breaks are really important on weekends. And yeah.
Okay, thank you. We have a student organization question. Are any of you involved in any student organizations, and how do you join them?
Yes. So my student organization experience, I was involved with UH Democrats in undergrad, and I was also involved with student government in undergrad. While I was about halfway through my master's degree, I got more deeply involved with student government. I was a graduate senator, and then I got elected student government president. And I'm the graduate senator again after my term ended, coinciding with my last year of this degree. How to join them? It's pretty simple. Most organizations just have open meetings, and you just kind of show up. There's not really an in-depth process. Most organizations on campus aren't particularly selective. I know that in Bauer, the business college, for the master's program, some organizations are like invite-only application-based, but that's very rare. So don't really worry about it. I would say that grad students a lot of times struggle to be involved, not necessarily that they don't want to, but obviously everybody can get involved in one organization or another, and if you're a grad student involved in an organization, a lot of times, especially if it's a graduate-specific organization, they schedule accordingly. So if it's a graduate organization, they understand that everyone's a grad student and has a constricted schedule. But if it's just a regular organization and they know you're a grad student, a lot of times they'll work with you, they'll work around your full-time work schedule, or they'll work around, like for instance, all my classes are at night. Things like that typically can be worked around.
So Akshay and I, this previous year, were the president and vice president of GPSA, which is the Graduate and Professional Student Association. We do a lot of events for graduate students specifically. Usually if you follow us on Instagram or Facebook or any kind of social media, we regularly announce those things. You can also go to Get Involved. The Get Involved at UH page will advertise all of our events. But usually we have like happy hours with free drinks. We have like a Halloween party every year. And then we also do some academic events. So we have like a grant writing workshop every year. We partner with the Student Health Center to get you free vaccinations and things like that. And so I would say if you're interested in an organization, definitely follow them on social media because they will almost always advertise their events, and there's almost always free pizza. Hot tip, grad school is all about free pizza.
not directly involved with any of the organizations, but I do follow UH Energy, UH Sustainability, since I have engineering and technology background. But I think you guys can find your interest by following UH on social medias, and UH websites are really helpful.
Okay. Do you want to add something, Akshay?
I'll just add one thing here. Being an international student on this forum, I would like to mention something. There is a tendency for every one of us to sort of be with our community, whoever is from the same nationality. When you come, I'm not saying it's bad. It's good because it's a comfortable thing for us, because we are moving from a different country, we are moving to a different country, different backgrounds and everything. So I'm not saying it's bad, but try to branch out. There are a lot of organizations out there, different nationalities, different ethnicities, different for graduate school. So try to branch out and join these organizations, because whenever I interact with people who are placed already, one thing that they say is, more than their resume, one of the major things that gets them in the job is networking. So these are platforms for you to practice networking. So there's no, no one is judging you. So you can actually practice networking. You can actually make contacts. So I would encourage everyone to join some of the other organizations and be active on that.
Thank you. Is there a place where we can get student IDs?
Yes. It's the Cougar Card office. Anyway, it's the Cougar Card office. It's basically, if you know where the rec center is, it's down that strip. It's right next to McAllister's. You walk in and you tell them your name, and if you, hopefully you have your actual student ID number, if not on the physical card. That'll help be a big help. And then you just ask them to print it. I think it's $20 for each of your new IDs. So if you're not issued one currently, it's $20. So.
Awesome. Thank you. As an international student, do you have any advice on how to bridge the language gap between myself and my peers?
Yeah, I can speak on that behalf. So when I came in here in 2016, I have a very diverse lab, thankfully. So there's a lot of people from different nationalities. So initially, I had really difficulty trying to have conversations with them, just because I thought, how would they judge me, right? I thought I don't have a good English. I mean, I can't communicate, but the language, slang, and everything is different. So I hesitated to do that in the initial stages. So what I tried to do was I attended an event from one of the organizations. I don't want to name that. So I went for their socials one day. Unfortunately, it was all undergrads at that time, and I tried to network at that point. But it really felt uncomfortable for me because no one really wanted to talk to me at that moment. But whenever I actually went ahead and actually had this conversation, they were actually really open to it. I think it's from that point, it's just a cumulative thing. You just keep on trying, and I've realized that these people are really, really wanting to have that conversations. They understand that we have certain slangs, we have certain limitations in communications. They're really appreciative if you give it an attempt. More often than not, we think they will judge us and we won't do anything. So just break that barrier, try it out, it's fine. I mean, we can all speak English, they'll understand. We'll just build it over the time. So just don't hesitate, that's the only thing I would say. Just try and it's gonna be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to add this thing. When I came here, I was very conscious of myself, as you know, most of us are, because this is a new place, new people, and you're always conscious about how people are going to judge you. But honestly, just going and talking to people helps a lot. You just go with the flow. And I do have like good experience with undergrads. I work with them all the time. People are amazing here. You would like love to explore a new culture, exchange thoughts. It's just good here. So don't hesitate to talk.
Thank you. Can you provide any information on parking, the shuttles, or park and ride?
Yeah, so parking. Pretty much you're going to be designated to a zone or a garage or the lot that's basically off campus, the technology bridge. pass. It really depends on your classification. I know that Sydney and I have spoke about how sometimes it's kind of weird with especially TAs. Sometimes you're classified as staff and you're eligible for staff parking. However, there's really not a big reason for you to purchase staff parking because the only difference is it costs twice as much. So there might not necessarily be a good reason to purchase a staff permit if you're a TA, you know, or a student, grad student here. Other than that, just stay in your zone. If you're parked there, if that's your permit, you will get towed. They are serious. Okay?
Very serious.
Yes, you will get towed if you park outside of your designated parking. Pretty zero tolerance because we transitioned to zone parking recently. As far as the shuttle, it's a really convenient service that not a lot of people use, even though they'd really benefit from it, especially given that we have zone parking. In order to access the shuttles, you pretty much just walk on. To know the shuttle schedule, just go ahead and you can look that up online at any time. Just search UH parking and then go to the shuttle schedule. Also, I don't know if the app, like the UH Go app, is still a thing. Okay. So you can download the app. It's the UH Go app, and the best thing about it is that it has the shuttle schedule integrated with the app. So you can not only see the shuttle schedule, but it tracks in real time where the shuttles are. So you even know how long you have to wait. For instance, if you're out late at night, you might not want to wait at the stop. You could just wait inside the student center, and you can track when the shuttle actually gets there. And then there's also Cougar Ride, which is kind of, you can think about it like an Uber service that UH offers internally. So Cougar Ride, I think it's another app that you download, or it's a number you call, something like that. And you pretty much just tell them where you are on campus. They'll drive to you. They'll drive you where you want. I think they'll go as far as the Tech Bridge. So if you have a technology bridge pass, they'll drive you right to the Tech Bridge for free. So that's a totally free service that you can utilize. And it helps a lot of people feel safer at night, especially when they're transversing campus. And so be sure to take advantage of those things.
Thank you. What is a glow party?
If you're new to Houston and you have a car, you probably have gotten one of those little things slipped under your windshield. This is awkward. I would say it's mostly an undergrad thing. You can go, obviously. I personally am too old probably for like a glow party, but if that's something that you feel, it's like a glow stick party. Like everything is dark, there's glow sticks. It's like a rave light. You can go if you want to go. I don't go to those. You will get those stickers on your car pretty much constantly.
Thank you. How are online classes as a grad student? Anybody taking, like fully online?
I took a statistics class online, and it was good. If you're pretty self-motivated, you can take online classes. If you're not, and you need to be like constantly reminded that stuff is due, don't take online classes. You have to be like really on top of things to take online classes, I would say. And a lot of your classes are not going to be offered online. So if you are more interested in online classes, a lot of professors will like negotiate with you and put things online for you. But you have to like stay really on top of things. Just speaking from personal experience, it's a little bit hard.
Thank you, Sydney. What are your favorite places around campus to sit and study?
I would say my lab, because that's the most comfortable place on campus for me to study.
Other than that, I guess in the library there are spaces that you can take. There's like closed room, quiet spaces are there, spaces where you can interact with a group of people. So depending on how you want, if you want to study alone, I think there are facilities in library. So I would encourage you to explore library. That would be one of the best places for that.
One of my favorite locally owned businesses is called Axelrad. They serve alcohol and pizza, so if that's not your study scene, don't go there, stay in your lab, be a good grad student. But I love to go to Axelrad. They have like hammocks, you can sit outside, it's really fun. And then on the backside of Axelrad, there's a coffee bar called Retrospect Coffee Bar. They serve incredible coffee, and it's like a pretty quiet environment. Obviously at night, the noise kind of ratchets up, so if that's like not something that is a productive study environment for you, I would say don't do it. But for me, that's one of my favorite places to study because they have hammocks and pizza.
So I can pretty much study anywhere, and it's because I made 2 decent investments. The only 2 things I really treat myself with outside of just saving money or spending on loans or something. And it's a decent laptop that can run whatever programs you need for your courses, for economics and finance. It's R and Stata pretty much. And also, always carrying around a good pair of headphones. So you can pretty much study anywhere, even if it's super loud and noisy and chaotic, if you've got a decent pair of headphones and a song that you don't mind listening to on loop for 2 or 3 hours. So.
Thank you. Do you have yoga anywhere on campus?
Thank you for that question. So we do have, there are a couple of organizations that's doing, even the rec center is doing some yoga and meditation sessions. Speaking of that, like we are actually also starting a new yoga organizations on campus, hopefully in this month. So there are a lot of options. So if you go to get involved, you can go through the organizations. And there are spiritual, I believe, wellness subgroups in there. If you go there, you can see which groups are doing yoga and other activities. So yes, we have.
Okay, thank you. Serious question. Over or under 5 cups of coffee a day?
I recently got under 5 cups, which I felt like was a big accomplishment. If I don't have like 2 cups in the morning, I get like shaky and a headache, like an addict, which will probably happen to you during graduate school. There's a lab down the hall from mine that keeps a pot on all day. And there was a point where I was doing like 6 or 7 cups a day. And I would go home and like be shaking from like over caffeination. So like be careful of your coffee consumption because we talked a little bit about balance earlier, but self-care is something that we haven't talked about, and it's super, super important. So if self-care for you is like chilling and having a cup of coffee, that's an important thing to do. And if self-care for you is realizing that you are drinking too much coffee and you look like a crazy person, then that's also important.
Awesome, thank you. Have you been able to manage a job while obtaining your degree? If so, how many hours do you recommend per week?
Yeah, so for my first master's degree, I was the student government president, which I guess that doesn't sound like a job, but it's a heck of a lot of work. I got paid, had an office and everything. That job was maybe 30 to 50 hours a week. It really depended on the week. And then I was also a tutor, and specifically over the summer, I was an RA. And then for the second degree, I kind of was also SJ president for the first half, and then for the second half, I was working full-time, still am. It's pretty tough. So I don't know about the PhD perspective. I imagine it's even tougher and borderline impossible if you're getting a PhD. But if you're just doing your master's degree, it's definitely possible to hold down a part-time job, I would say. I would also encourage you guys to apply on campus if you can. Because part-time jobs on campus are great because they always work with your hours. All of the tutoring offices on campus love to hire graduate students because generally we're more responsible, and also we just know more about our subject that we're tutoring, and also a lot of times graduate students get paid more to be tutors. And, triple and, tutoring offers a lot of downtime. So if you have a lot of stuff to work on, tutoring is a good outlet to earn some money on the side and also have downtime to work on your homework. If you're getting a master's degree during the day, like the applied economics program that I was in, you pretty much can't work full-time unless your job somehow works around it, and it would be really hard, I think, to hold down a nighttime job while doing any sort of graduate degree. But if your classes are at night, like you're doing, I think pretty much all Bauer courses, graduate courses are at night on the master's level, it is possible to hold down a full-time job because your professors understand that, hey, it's not a coincidence that all these courses are scheduled 6 to 9, right? So it's pretty understandable if you have a full-time job. It's not unusual for people to come in late to class at 6 because they commute all the way from Katy. So don't worry about that kind of stuff. Also, the last thing I'll say is that if you find that your work life and your school life just unfortunately are clashing with each other, don't be afraid to ask your professor for an extension or for some sort of, call it special treatment, but professors view grad students much more as colleagues than undergrad students. So they're much more willing to accept, hey, I am just working so much. Can I get an extension until Friday on this assignment? Because it's oftentimes a lot more genuine, and it's oftentimes a lot more actually true with a grad student than with an undergrad student. And so don't be afraid to reach out to your professors if you're really struggling with the workload. A lot of times they'll work with you on that.
So I think it's a little bit different from the PhD perspective. So I worked during my master's, and as soon as you get hired on to do a PhD, you're usually either teaching or you're an RA. I personally teach, so I teach an anatomy and physiology class here, and it's relatively time-consuming. And I will say that I have taught classes in the past where I've had to go to the professor and be like, this is significantly impacting how much research I'm able to do. And usually they're like, I don't care, do it. No, I'm just kidding. Usually they're really understanding. But what I will say is that there's a hard balance between teaching to the best of your ability if you're a TA and continuing to do research. But at the end of the day, you're here to do research, and like the whole thing that you have to do to finish your degree is finish your research. So teaching is an excellent opportunity, especially if you want to stay in academia, and I find it to be a lot of fun. It's the only way that I stay plugged into what the kids are into these days. They all think I'm like the oldest person who's ever existed, which is fun. But like, I think there's a balance that you can get to where you find a class to teach or you find an RA assignment that isn't affecting your research too much. And I would say if you find that, stick it out because it's hard to do. But don't spend too much of your time on your alternative assignment, like your main focus is research. Oh, and tutoring is an excellent side hustle, but I will say that like a lot of PIs are not excited if you have something that you're working on the side. So I would say if you're going to have something like that, like I tutor on the side from time to time, and I'll tell my PI when it's happening because they don't want that to interfere with your research, obviously.
If I talk on the international students' perspective, we are allowed to work 20 hours a week during we are enrolled in class. But in summer, we are allowed to work 40 hours, and that 40 hours include off-campus too. I did the craziest thing this summer. I am working 20 hours on campus, and I'm doing an internship 20 hours off campus. And I'm also enrolled in class this summer. So it gets pretty crazy. I would not recommend working on 2 jobs, be it summer or 40 hours. I mean, focusing on 1 job would be a better option because there are a lot of other things to handle too.
Thank you. It also depends on what you can handle as well. So make sure that you are, again, doing your self-care, taking care of you first. Okay. When your regular lot is full, where do you go for guaranteed parking?
So if your regular lot is full, generally that shouldn't happen. I don't know how often that, I mean, at least in my experience, I've been parking on campus for 3.5 years now. Since they did zone parking, pretty much the zones are not full. However, if they are full, you can park by the McDonald's down Elgin Street, all right? That place is always good to park at. It is free. Obviously, it's just street parking. However, a trade-off is that it is down Elgin Street, so keep that in mind. Pretty much, you're going to want to get a friend to walk you to your car, is what I'm saying. That would be my recommendation. If your lot is full, again, they are really strict. A lot of people used to park by the Burritos kind of Pink's Pizza Strip. They will tow you now. They'll tow you, and that's city parking, so they'll tow you into the 3rd Ward. They don't tow you on campus. I have made that 3.5-mile walk into the 3rd Ward to get my car out of tow. It's not fun. It also rained that day. So try to avoid it as much as you can. I would just recommend street parking down Scott Street or down Elgin Street.
I would not recommend street parking down Scott Street ever. If you buy staff ungated parking, which is what I had this year, and staff ungated I think is actually the same price as some of the parking permits, If you buy staff ungated, your lots will absolutely be full if you get here after like 9 a.m. But there is overflow parking for if you have a staff permit behind the stadium that is always empty. So definitely check that out and avoid street parking on Scott Street. I'm so serious.
Okay.
I guess, I'm not sure, but I guess if your zone is full, I think you can park in the ERP, I believe. Yeah, right. So if your zone is full, I think you can still go to ERP. It's a bit off campus, but you can still park there. There's shuttle services from there to the campus.
Awesome. Do you get football tickets as a grad student? Do you get free football tickets?
So students in general get free tickets to the game, but it is a first come, first served basis. So if you do want to go to football games or basketball games, it's a first come, first served basis. If you want to go to any of the other games, pretty much don't worry about like not getting a ticket if it's not basketball or football. And with basketball, it depends on the year. Same thing with football. So just kind of play that by ear. Best case scenario, if you're interested in sports, you can register online. I think it's an independent registration system on the athletics. Athletics kind of has their own website. So just search UH Athletics tickets and register in advance. We used to have, you could just scan it with your ID, but you have to come now with basically a QR code emailed to you to get into the games now, because they were kind of higher volume. Sports had grown in interest. So be sure to do that if you're interested. If you're not, hey, at least go to one game, right? I mean, it's a cool thing to go to at least once, maybe after finals, especially basketball season, because basketball extends past finals and also before the semester starts in spring. So you can always keep that in mind if you want to catch a basketball game.
Awesome. What university services do you recommend I take advantage of the most?
So CAPS is the Counseling and Psychological Services on campus. And I know there's like a lot of people feel like there's a stigma around like going to a counselor, but I will say for our generation, I think that's a lot different. It's different than our parents' generation, right? Like here, I would say there's not really as much of a stigma. Everybody I know has checked out CAPS. They have excellent office hours. They have drop-in services. And they're starting to do a thing on campus called Let's Talk. So CAPS will be posted up around campus, and you can basically go find the counselors and just like talk to them, like no pressure. You just like have a conversation with them about what's going on. GPSA usually puts on events every year with CAPS, where basically we have Dr. Marty Tremor, who is going to be on the next panel. She comes and talks to you about different events. So this year we had dealing with failure in graduate school, which is something that everyone here will unfortunately experience at some point. We've done a lot of different things like that, dealing with stress in graduate school. So CAPS is definitely the service that I would recommend you checking out, as well as the Student Health Center. The Student Health Center has a lot of really cool things. If you have campus insurance, I feel like I know people who have gone like 5 years paying for campus insurance and not going to the Student Health Center. It's actually fantastic. They have a well women's appointments that you can get. Just like keep up with your regular mental and physical care. And we have excellent services on campus to do all those things. So stay on top of that and use those campus resources for sure.
Thank you.
So I would recommend 3 things. So one is DSAES has a bunch of organizations called the fee-funded program bro organizations like Frontier Fiesta, Council of Cultural Activities, the Student Program Board, all that kind of stuff. Take advantage of the events they put on. At the very least, it's an opportunity for free food, and also the fee that you pay every semester goes towards these events. So why not recuperate some of your costs by having a fun time, or at the very least getting some free food. Second is student government. So I can't tell you how many times a grad student or just a regular student came to me with a very bureaucratic problem, like, hey, this person isn't processing my paperwork, hey, this is taking forever. And then I, as the student government president, send an email to the right person, and all of a sudden your problem solved. So be sure to take advantage of that. Student government works for you, and it's pretty active within the campus community. So if you ever have a problem with that bureaucratic process of the university, it can be so frustrating to be, especially if you're a PhD student, doing your research or working on all your classes, and then it's like, oh, my financial aid hasn't come in for some unknown reason, and that is a real problem that I have to deal with today, right? So those problems can be alleviated if you take advantage of student government. The third one is campus food assistance. So there's things like the food pantry on campus, which I think the biggest one that I know of that's on campus, there's several of them, but the biggest one I think is in the Stephen Farish building, the education hall. Be sure to take advantage of that. So I know as grad students, it can be really tough to get by, especially if you're international, because a lot of times it's hard to find outside employment. But be sure to take advantage of those food assistance resources. There's no shame in it. It's a very private thing. And if you're struggling to make that trip to the grocery store, or you can't financially do it, just take advantage of that resource, you know, because it's there for a reason. It's very underutilized because people feel weird about utilizing like a food assistance program, but be sure to use those things.
Okay, thank you. I will answer the next question. When is lunch? We're both thinking the same thing. It's at 12:10. Lunch is at 12:10. Is it safe around the university after 8 p.m. since I have classes from 7 to 10 p.m.? And are the metros available then?
So I think the metro runs until midnight, I want
Yes, it
to
does.
say. And so, however, at least from everything I have heard, I would not recommend riding the metro unless you're with somebody if it's nighttime. I hear that it just gets a little intense at night. As far as on campus after 8, like around this time of year, 8 is still during the day, so I would say you're pretty much good until about 8:30. Then at night, I can tell you that it's a well-lit campus for the most part, especially like the main, central part of campus around the student center and all the parking lots and stuff like that. However, a lot of people still feel pretty precarious on campus at night. So general advice anywhere is, no matter what the university is, don't, walk all the way across campus alone. You're going to want to have a friend. One of my friends, she kind of described how she deals with walking around on campus alone, and she says if she can't find somebody, she'll just call her dad, and just having like a person to talk to on the phone feels comforting. And so that kind of stuff can, generally it's good advice. Also, you're allowed to carry pepper spray on campus, so that's obviously, that can be a big, it can make you probably will never use it, right? But it makes you feel a lot more secure, obviously, and obviously you can use it if you need to. So.
We have campus self-defense classes, and I recommend that you enroll in those. I did, and I love them. I think as a woman, it's a little bit different, right? It's not that I don't feel safe, but I have called the campus police escort before. If you're leaving super late at night, like sometimes I have experiments that run until like 2 o'clock in the morning. The campus police escort, you can call them and they'll basically come and pick you up in a golf cart and take you to your car. So if at any point you do feel unsafe, that is an excellent resource to use. They don't mind. The cops are super friendly and they will come and like just pick you up and take you to your car. Regardless of your gender, you should take advantage of that. You will see the police reports will come out in an email, which I think is an excellent opportunity for you to assess how campus security is going. But also like don't be... take those with a grain of salt because you're only hearing about the bad things that happen when you see those emails. I would say in general the campus has gotten a lot safer than it was when I first got here. They've done a lot to improve that. You'll see the guys driving around on the ATVs. Those are new this year. So in general, campus safety has gotten a lot better, but be careful and be proactive about your safety.
Just to add to that last point about the emails that you said, you'll see that someone mugged someone or something quite every now and then. But as she said, don't be afraid because the university is supposed to do that. Like if something is happening, they are supposed to report it to all the students. So as she said, I've been here for 3 years, so it has gone down lately. After 8, it's still safe because there are classes till 9:30 for pretty much a lot of people. So metro till 9:30, I don't think there's much problems. But as Cameron said, just try to grow in groups if it's late. I don't think it should be much of a problem.
Okay. We have a few more questions, and then we'll get our next panel up. Can you please repeat the name of the student organization that hosts grant writing classes each semester?
The Graduate and Professional Student Association, that's GPSA. Our Instagram handle is UHGPSA. You should definitely follow us because we regularly host grant writing panels where we have the Writing Center as well as grant writing professionals like professors come who are like prolific for getting grants. We have someone in our department called Dr. Franchino, and he's an incredible grant writer. He actually coached me on a grant that I ended up getting. And we usually host him, and he'll come and talk to you about like what makes a good grant within your field and like how you should write them. So UH GPSA.
Okay, thank you, Sydney. Is there an actual inbox, or is it through forwarding to your personal email address? Do y'all know that?
So I think what that question's referring to is, does your student email account come with an actual like UH email system like Gmail but a UH version? The answer is no. So it does just forward to your personal email. I don't know if TAs are assigned a work email, but if you are ever assigned a work email, you can forward you can basically make your work email the forward for your UH email if you use your work email pretty much exclusively.
I guess if you are a staff or faculty or doing RA or TA or something, I believe you are eligible to get the central account. So in those positions, I think you can apply for one account in which you will be able to send emails to your central account.
Okay. Can we use the little golf carts to move between the buildings, or just walk? Just walk. Please don't use those. Is there anything you regret about your time in grad school, or that you wish you had done differently?
So I would say the biggest thing, it's not necessarily a regret, but if I could give you any advice moving forward, it is super easy to get a crazy amount of imposter syndrome. It will happen to you, and you'll be like, I don't deserve to be here. I'm trash. Why did they even let me into this program? It happens to everybody, right? Am I crazy? Okay. And so basically what I would say is like, and it's really hard for me not to do this because I'm a really competitive person, don't compare yourself to the people around you, because everybody is at a different position in their journey, and your graduate school experience is what you make of it. And if you spend the entire time you're here like worried that you don't deserve to be here, it's gonna suck and it's gonna give you a lot of anxiety. Speaking from personal experience. So I would say like be really careful about how you think about yourself in reference to your peers, because when you walk into a room, it can feel really easy, especially like a lot of you that got into grad school are high achievers. You're used to being like a really intelligent person or maybe the smartest person in the room. And when you get into grad school, it's a little bit different because everybody here is high achieving. And I was talking to my PI about that recently, and she basically said to me, if you're the smartest person in a room, then you need to find a more exciting room to be in. And that's what you're doing by being here, right? You're finding a more exciting room to be in. So don't compare yourself to other people. Try to shake off the imposter syndrome and just like enjoy your time here and get the most you can out of it.
Thank you. Anybody else want to add to that briefly?
Yeah, in regards to the imposter syndrome stuff, I can tell you that the way that this I did not expect to be a person who suffered from this, honestly, especially just getting a professional degree. But I think that one thing to realize with your degree is that grad degrees are often a little misleading in terms of what your knowledge set is. So like my degree of applied economics, right? Like you'd figure from the layman, oh, Cameron knows everything at a master's level of everything to deal with economics. No, that's not the case at all. All graduate degrees are specialized within their field, and so mine came from family members asking me mundane economics questions. Oh, Cameron, what do you think about Bitcoin? Dude, I don't know about Bitcoin. How am I supposed to know about this? I didn't study this in grad school, you know, my degree is economics. So try and rebuff those kind of things as quick as you can, because originally my thought process was, man, should I know about Bitcoin? I don't know if I should have learned that in grad school. Was I paying attention? And so just realize that a lot of times your grad degree is it's a subspecialty of a really broad study. And especially when probably as you get along within your degree, you only get more and more specialized.
Actually.
Yeah, just to add one thing, I believe you guys are familiar with the degree plan, right? Especially coming from, if you're an international student, let me tell you this from the experience, you might feel it's a bit intimidating to be assertive in certain times, but know that your degree is actually your journey. So you have power to be a bit more assertive. The faculties are open to listen, but sometimes they're too busy with their research and stuff. So make sure you have communication with your advisor. Be assertive that this is my degree plan, this is what I want to do at this time point. So having that assertiveness in a pleasant but in a friendly manner with the advisor is always encouraged. So try to keep that in mind.
Okay. A few more questions that I can actually answer pretty quickly. Do we have a fall break? You have a winter break. That starts in December. Can you have a cougar as a pet? No, you cannot. You can visit Shasta at the Houston Zoo, though. And right in front of E. Cullen are the statues, so make sure that you go by there and rub their paws for good luck. How do I find a girlfriend? Don't. And last question, stay away. How you are here to invest in your education. Last question for the panel is very briefly, how is the sense of community within your cohort? How do you contribute to that as well?
So I can tell you that within finance, there's not a huge sense of community, at least in my experience within the Bauer master's programs, because a lot of times people are working full time, and it's pretty understandable after a 40-hour week and 9 hours of classes if you just go to class and then go home at the end of the day. But with my applied economics program, which was during the day, it was a full-time program during the day. There was a huge sense of community and camaraderie. And I'm reminded by the Andy Bernard quote from The Office that I wish there was a way to know that you're in the good old days before you leave them, because when you're in the lab for 10 hours working on one assignment, like, it seems like hell on earth and it seems like it will never end. But you end up building a huge sense of friendship with those people that you're working with. And so that's why, again, I really encourage you guys, find a good group of people to study with on a consistent basis. Find out who those people are who also need a group to study and do assignments with, because those people end up being really good friends of yours down the line. And especially, imagine if you're in a PhD program, you're in this program for 4 or 5 years. My program was only 1 year long, and the sense of camaraderie was so strong. But I can't even imagine if you're in a 4 or 5 year program. It's probably incredibly strong, lifelong friendships probably get made.
Let me advertise for our organizations, join GPSA, because that's what we are trying to do, because especially what he said is really true. Being graduate students, it's really hard to, we are really stressed about the work and everything, so we try to just go home after our work. So that is why we wanted to have this organization, GPSA. So this is for the graduate students. We want to build that community. We want to bring up that sense of belonging on campus. So I'm just going to advocate for the organizations I represent at GPSA, yes.
It's also very easily to get like insular within your group of people and not branch out. And I think if you don't learn about what other people are doing here, you're missing out on a really good opportunity. That being said, within your college, there are things like we have BSGS that I was the president of last year, which is Bioscience Graduate Society. And we host events for bioscience graduate students. All of your departments within the university have those. So I'd recommend joining those, definitely. And then I would say, like, as far as a sense of community, it totally is what you make of it. So I kind of came to graduate school with an attitude like, I don't really necessarily want to make any new friends while I'm here. That's not the point. And 2 of my bridesmaids came from my PhD and master's program. So you will make friends here, and you will make like lifelong friendships, and that's sort of the point of why you're here, because you make these friendships. It's basically networking on steroids when you make like really good friends, because those people are going to go on to do really cool things too, and now you have a colleague that you went to school with that you have a lot of exposure to. So be friends with the people in your department. They will make your life a lot easier if you are. Join those interdepartmental organizations within your department as well as outside, like GPSA.
Thank you. So that ends our graduate student panel. Can you please help me thanking Amruta, Cameron, Akshay, and Sydney for their time? Thank you guys so much. Our next panel that will be joining us is the Health and will be providing our health and wellness information. If you guys can come on up. Oh, thank you. If you all will take a moment to introduce yourselves and your department.
Hi, my name is Sarah.
There you go.
Are we there now? Okay, awesome. Hi, my name is Sarah Miller. I'm the Equal Opportunity Coordinator and Trainer in Equal Opportunity Services here on campus. So sometimes people refer to us as the Title IX office, and we teach people about and also enforce the anti-discrimination as well as the sexual misconduct policy on campus.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Padavin, Dean of Padavin with the University of Houston Police Department. And my job role is to basically go out and create a community with us and the rest of the student population and the staff and the faculty.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Marty Trummer. I'm a psychologist on campus. I work at the Counseling Center, so we're the mental health hub on campus.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Roderick Jordan, and I'm the Associate Director at the Student Health Center. And I'm in charge of making sure that everything runs smoothly at the Student Health Center. Thank you.
Okay, first up is Dr. Trimmer. If
All
you
right.
want to, do you have like a lot of slides? You want to, here's the clicker.
yeah,
You can
sure, I
stand
can-
here
I
if you
can-
like.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So let me just tell you a little bit about our services. I think that's the main point here. So this is a nice slide, a good summary of all the services that we offer. They're listed there in the middle. This would probably be a decent slide to take a picture of, but it's also found easily on our website. You guys are all here, accepted to graduate school, so I know you're super smart and probably internet savvy because you know you're here. But just as a quick reference, I think it's important to have our phone number. You can call that number 24/7 to talk to a counselor. So whether it's during office hours or after office hours, that's a good contact number if you're wanting to talk with a counselor right away. So that's a good slide. Let me run through our services quickly because I know we don't have a whole lot of time. One of the services that you saw up there is Let's Talk. So generally what I do is a lot of individual counseling, one-on-one counseling with students. Let's Talk is less formal. So it's an informal consultation. You can find us at different places, different times on campus. At the Expo Fair, I'll have a sheet if you guys are interested. The times are listed up here, although I don't know how clear it is for y'all, but so that you don't have to go to the Student Service Center one where we're located. You can come and talk with us informally if you're curious about counseling. Sometimes I do like breathing exercises with students there. Maybe you have to have a hard conversation. You want to come practice that hard conversation, like maybe talking with your advisor about something, maybe your parents, something like that. So that's a good use of this consultation service, and it's also free. If you want to start services, any formal services with us, the first thing to do is just to walk into our office. We're a confidential resource on campus. That means that when you tell us things, we're not allowed to tell other people in most circumstances. So the easiest way, if you want to get started in any type of counseling service, listed up there and what I'll go through, is just by walking through our front doors. There's some paperwork to fill out and we'll talk with you right away. And then give you more information about the services that we offer and kind of what will be the best fit for you and what you're looking for. One of the things that we provide for students that are interested is a suicide prevention advocacy training. This is a national training that you'll get a little certification for, and then have more information about how to help people who are in crisis or are thinking about ending their life, and how to have that conversation and how to destigmatize conversations like that. So the dates are listed up here. We also have these always listed on our social media sites. So Twitter and Facebook's what we're right now, but we're going to get an Instagram. So see these popping up if you're in social media. We'll list them there, but it's also found on our website. All right. We also have skills training workshops. So this is a service that you also have to walk in to our office first to get assessed for. But if depression and anxiety are things that you feel like overall are impeding your success here at UH, definitely come see us. These are not workshops that you could probably easily search on the internet. These are trained doctoral level people who are presenting workshops, hopefully giving you some really good essential skills to help you get through successfully. So there's one on anxiety, 3-part workshop. There's also one that addresses depressive symptoms. And so those are really, really useful, especially if you feel like that's what's getting you stuck and moving forward. The last service that we have is called single session therapy. So if you're highly motivated and you're wanting to make some sort of change in your life, this is a really good service to just do like a one and done. Hey, like this is what's been going on. I feel stuck. We're here to get you unstuck, and you can kind of move forward on your own. So it's a nice single session, one and done sort of thing. All right, and that's it for us. Thanks, y'all.
Hi, I will also try and be as quick as possible. Oop, there we go. So we do cover the anti-discrimination policy, which is anytime someone's being treated differently on the basis of a protected identity status, including these as well. So if you have any questions about that, please contact our office and we can talk through what your rights are and what different resources we have under our policy related to discriminatory treatment. We also cover the Title IX policy, which we also refer to as the sexual misconduct policy because that's the federal law related to sex discrimination on college campuses. So that covers faculty, staff, students, and visitors. I know that some of you will both be in a student and a form of staff role as well, and it covers you under both of those roles here on campus. It also covers some behavior that happens off campus as well that may be impacting you or somebody else on campus. That's an important thing to know about because we still provide resources under our policy related to some off-campus behavior as well. There is no time limit to seek help or resources through our office, so please do not think that because something happened a year ago or a few months ago that we cannot still assist under our policy and with different resources that we have available on campus. We provide equal rights to everyone involved, and making a report to our office does not automatically start a formal investigation process. We begin by asking someone who may have been impacted what the best decision is for them, what are they seeking, what would help facilitate their academic success on campus. Things that we cover under the sexual misconduct policy are sexual assault, non-consensual sexual contact. Stalking has a higher prevalence rate on college campuses in general, especially related to social media. So just something to kind of be aware of, and if you're having an uncomfortable feeling based off of someone repeatedly contacting you against your wishes, that's something that we can help with as well through a variety of different resources. Sexual intimidation, sexual exploitation, as well as dating and domestic violence and sexual harassment. And I also want to underline again, especially related to dating and domestic violence, that just because somebody is a perpetrator is unaffiliated with the university does not mean we can't help with things like safety plans or other ways that we can help you be safe both on campus and when you leave campus at some point to go home. So we have a variety of different reporting resources. We are related to the university's policies and university expectations, as well as university resources, such as a no contact order through the university, or counseling here on campus, or a variety of other different resources. We're separate than UHPD, which is the legal process. Somebody can talk to one of us, both of us, neither of us. It's really up to the person who may have been impacted to make that decision for themselves At the bottom of every single UH webpage, we have a link for sexual misconduct reporting, and that can be done anonymously. We also have confidential resources such as the Counseling Center, the Health Center, counseling through the A.D. Bruce Religion Center, and we also have a sexual misconduct support services manager here on campus. Her name is Ashley Griffin. She's in the building she's in the building across from this one, and she's able to talk through different options both on and off campus without necessarily having to report to our office. People who are not a confidential resource on campus are required to report any potential sexual misconduct to our office, and that includes anyone who may be in a teaching assistant position where they could reasonably be able to provide assistance through the university. So if you are in a TA position or some other position in which you're overseeing students, please be aware that that mandatory reporter policy applies to you as well. We also have sexual violence prevention education through the Wellness Center, which is in the Rec Center across campus. And we also have a Women and Gender Resource Center on campus that's for everyone, not just women. And it's also in the building across from this one where the Sexual Misconduct Support Services Manager is located. So we are right next to the Center for Students with Disabilities across from Cougar Village 2. Please never hesitate to reach out to our office with any questions and concerns about what rights you have here at UH related to the anti-discrimination or the sexual misconduct policies, or if you have a concern for a friend or another concern. We are always here to assist and support you to make sure there aren't any barriers to your academic success, because you're also smart and brilliant and you're going to go on to do wonderful things, and we want to make sure that things that happen outside of the classroom don't get in the way of that.
All right, if you want to take the time to send your questions to that code, and we'll ask these panelists.
No questions. Sherry was trying to skip over two of them. Shame on you, Sherry. Roderick, here you go.
Good morning, everyone. Student Health Center. It's really important that you take care of your physical and your mental well-being. It can't be stressed enough. This is a period in your time where you're no longer an undergraduate, a freshman, sophomore. You're kind of easing into adulthood, and you want to catch any kind of health conditions, family history of any kind of health conditions. You want to start being mindful of them now. So the Student Health Center, that is our mission, and you probably don't care. So our location, which is more important, we're in the new Health 2 building, which is right behind the School of Optometry that is in the Health 1 building, and we're on the second floor for the clinic. The pharmacy is on the first floor, so I'll talk about the locations a little bit more later. We offer validated parking, but we only limit it to the time that you were actually seen in the clinic. So, no parking over there all day. We're hip to that, so, don't worry about that. Or is that more of an undergraduate trick? So we offer general medicine. If I drank too much last night, or, or, you have stomach aches or, allergies, stuff like that, we can definitely take care of that. And the main thing that we try to stress at the Student Health Center is be mindful of your resources. There's no need to go to the Med Center, because the Med Center is not mindful that you're a struggling graduate student. But we are, and we tailor our prices and what we offer to our patient population. Undergraduates and graduates, we know y'all broke. So We're not trying to gouge you. We're not trying to, corner the market on healthcare. We just want to make ourselves available. We have board certified physicians and nurse practitioners, which is important. You're not getting, some kind of Mickey Mouse kind of coverage or anything like that. Because we've heard that. It's like, oh, y'all have real physicians? Yeah, we do. And they're board certified. So they've gone an extra step to get the additional training to be able to offer it to you. So general medicine, both men and women, for any issues that you may want to present for. Okay, well, oh, there we go. So we have men's health. Fellas, it's time to start, being mindful of, turning your head and cough. It's about that time. Again, you're no longer, 18-year-olds. It's very important that you take care of your health. For my ladies, we have a dedicated nurse practitioner for women's health. You all are always on top of it. It's just the fellas who slack. So we offer an orthopedic surgeon that comes in for any, sprained ankles, stuff like that. He comes in once a week. We have 2 psychiatrists. So there's been a lot of talk about addressing your mental health needs. And the difference between us and CAPS, one, we work together. And there is no, if a student presents at CAPS and needed to be, seen at the health center, there's a smooth transition. But the difference between CAPS is they have psychologists and we have psychiatrists, whereas our psychiatrists are MDs that can prescribe any kind of controlled substance. That's what we offer. But the transition between the two is very seamless. So we talk to one another and we work well. So your care is well cared for. We offer a Healthy Coug portal. We try to make it as convenient as possible for you to talk with your provider. And this is a means for that. It allows you to go in and if you need to provide any kind of documentation that we have, it gives you a quick glimpse, like any kind of immunization records or maybe your last visit. You can't go into too in depth, but it gives you an opportunity to A, converse with your provider, and then B, get a quick snapshot of any past medical history. After hours. If you break your leg, don't come to the health center. Go to urgent care, because that's what we're going to do. We don't offer x-rays and, you want to go to an urgent care. We can't stress enough. Don't go to the emergency room. Go to an urgent care. You'll get the same kind of care for a lot less. And you won't sit in the emergency room, ER, nightmare kind of scenario where you're sitting there for half a day. But, for your regular run-of-the-mill kind of stuff, you can definitely come to us. But, oftentimes people get the misconception like, oh, my God, this bone is sticking out. I can go to the health center. No, don't come. Because we're going to just, stabilize you, and then we're going to call 911 like you could probably do. But even still, for lesser things, we can definitely, take care of you. The after hours, there's access to a nurse hotline. So if you have any kind of questions as to your health in any kind of, something new, you can definitely call, and that's manned 24/7. So we'll skip about the payment part. But I do want to let it be known, again, we know our target audience. Although we don't take third-party insurance, and this is the time where I normally get pelted with tomatoes and stuff like that, but we're working towards taking third-party insurance. And what does that mean? Like if you're on mom and dad's insurance, we presently don't take it. That's something that we're working towards, but right now as it stands, we don't take it. But our self-pay prices are equal to a copay. For a office visit, like a sick visit, it's about $25, $30. The same that you would pay as a copay. For physical, about $50. For psych visits, $20. So again, we know our audience, and we keep the prices steady. We're not trying to ramp it up and, get you hooked and then we got you. No, we keep it steady. So you have the option to put it on your Bursar account. You can pay with your debit card. Or you can get the student health insurance, which is what we strongly advocate. It is a United Healthcare product, so you can take that anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. It's not just limited to the Houston or the Texas area. The reason why we push that is it gives you the autonomy. Oftentimes, if you're on mom and dad's insurance, and what we found is if you need to come in for, let's just say for an STI, and you may or may not want mom to know, so you make a decision based on the fact that they may get that EOB, which is explanation of benefits. And so you don't address the issue, and those kind of things never go away. So what we try to do is advocate that you have a sense of independence and you be on your own plan. And you're like, well, Roger, my mom and dad's plan is, is the best thing ever. And we're like, okay, that's fine. But if you compare the student health insurance to your mom and dad's plan, I'm pretty sure the student health insurance is going to beat it. But any questions that you would have, we have people available that can answer those questions. But that presently is the only insurance that we take now. We have an on-campus pharmacy. I cannot stress enough how beneficial it is to have an on-campus pharmacy that offers the same services that you would get at Walgreens, CVS, but for a lot less. If you're on a prescription now, you can get that transferred over to our on-campus pharmacy and have the convenience. You all are maybe in a little bit better situation that you have the means to get off campus, but let's just say, for example, you don't. Having to go to CVS every 30 days or 90 days whenever your prescription is needed being refilled, it can be an inconvenience. So we are offering clinical services, we're offering psychiatry services, pharmacy, all on campus, all within walking distance. We're not open on the weekends, but we're still here Monday through Friday. So we're here to make it as convenient as possible for you all. Social media, you can go to our website and follow us and learn more about us. And we're offering a lot of different things at different times of the year. So definitely follow us. And skip. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so very much. Wow, no worries. It's all good.
Hi. Okay, so I'm going to go over some of the resources that we have here on the campus. We like to start off telling you that we are located at south of the football stadium. You'll just see us south of the football stadium. There is a Metro Rail platform that's located by our spot. You can get onto the Metro Rail and off the Metro Rail at this location. And the second location is going to be by Moody Towers. So there's two locations here on the campus, one by our location and the other one is by Moody Towers if you're going to be taking the Metro Rail. We have emergency call boxes that are located across the campus. We are a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week police department, so you're always going to get somebody live, somebody there. So if you need to go over and speak to us, you can go right over there. The call box will call directly over to our police department. You push the button, it calls directly over to there. It makes an announcement to the police dispatcher where the call is coming from. It will also make an announcement to you where you're calling from. So if you're kind of not familiar with the campus, and you need to use it, it will make an announcement to you. My suggestion to you is to get that schedule that you have, know where you're going and know where you're parking. So where's your classroom, where's your residence if you're gonna be living here on the campus, and then where's your classroom, where are you parking? Because sometimes you can get turned around and then you come back later on and say, my car's been stolen, when actually it's parked on the other side of the campus. So it happens. So if you need to get in touch with us, use the call box if you don't have our phone number programmed into your phone. So then we have the Safety Escort Program. I heard questions earlier about the Safety Escort Program. This service is offered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's because somebody may say, I feel unsafe walking across the campus. It doesn't matter if it's 8 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock at night. That's what we're here for. Because it could be a situation that may have happened at home, and now you're here on the campus and you're entitled to that safe learning environment. Okay, and then parking has extended their services from 9 p.m. until 5 a.m. So you go onto the parking website and you'll see where it says Cougar Ride. Learn how to use that, because if you're here late on the campus and you say, hey, pick me up at this location here and drop me off at this location here on campus, not off campus, here on campus, then that's a free service that you can use. So our service is basically our security officers will go through. It could be a bicycle officer. It could be one of our ATV guys. Our ATV guys are standing back there. It could be one of our ATV guys that could walk you over to your location. Our security officers are trained on bicycles. Our police officers are trained on bicycles. We have the ATV guys. We have the patrol officers, because sometimes the officers will start to jump in and say, you know what, I'll go ahead and help. We tell the undergrads, hey, if your student starts to send you photos in the back of the police car, it's because they're using our service, not for any other reason. So your undergrad college also had this program. We just want to tell you, you're not bothering us. Give us a call, okay, if you feel unsafe. The card swipe, you'll be issued a Cougar card. Your Cougar card will get you in and out of areas, so make sure you use this. We are very friendly here in Texas, and we want to hold the door for people, but we don't want to do that and let people that are not supposed to be in that area. That's what the card access is for. Then if you look around the campus, you'll notice that there are cameras everywhere, and there's also license plate reader cameras. There's about 2,500 cameras here on the campus, and that area is also monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have the annual security report that's released by October 1st of each year. So October 1st of each year, you're going to get it, and it's going to say a comparison for the past 3 years of crimes. Because we work closely with our community, we have a lot of people that come and report crimes to us, so we want you to come and tell us and let us know what's going on. And it's also required by law. So the timely warnings and emergency notifications, you may get an email saying, hey, this crime happened. So if this crime happened, we're going to let you know once we get more information. Emergency notification, and that's going to go through email. Emergency notification is when you get the text message. The text message says, hey, we need you to do this right now. And that could be a weather-related incident. We're still in the summertime, and hurricane season lasts until like December. So if we need to send you a message out saying, hey, this is going on, the campus is closed, that's when we're going to send you that emergency message. And make sure that you log into your pass and update all of your information on there. It's called the emergency notification system. So once that emergency notification system does go out, it will also go to the website, it will go to your email. You'll get a text message that campus digital signage, which are the TV monitors all over the campus, and the UH Go app, UH Facebook, and UH Twitter account will also be updated as well. So again, here's the student emergency contact information. Make sure you go in there and update your information. The general public can also get this information. So if they have a Twitter account or if they're following on social media, they can also get this information as well. You'll hear an outdoor warning siren that's basically letting you know, hey, we have a hazardous material release, or there are tornadoes that are spotted in the area. If you're outside or near a window, you may hear the sound. If you're indoors, you may not hear the sound, and that's basically telling you to go indoors. We have events that we go out to, and one of those is Coffee with a Cop, and that's basically come out and have a cup of coffee with us. We had tea this past year, and we also had the Whataburger honey butter chicken biscuits. So if you're hungry, you come over and come have breakfast with us. The first one is September 24th here in the Student Center. We have the civilian response to active shooter events, and that's basically, we're going out because we want to speak to you about what to do in an active attack situation. That's a 2-hour presentation that we'll do, and it's a free presentation, and we will go out and speak to you about that. We do have community events such as Behind the Badge, and that will be in the spring. And then our next event that we have coming up is going to be in October, and that's National Night Out. We have events that we do with the pharmacy. It's drug take back. So we're going to take the medications back if you're no longer using them, and then we have people just drop them off and DEA takes them off. We have the walk in the dark because we want people to let us know where you feel unsafe walking across the campus at night. And we do get feedback, and we'll work with facilities to get those areas addressed. And then we have the bicycle registration. If you plan on bringing a bicycle here on the campus, first there is an option of the B-Cycle. That's basically you rent the bicycle for the semester, and I believe it's $5 a month. You go through and you pick up your bicycle here at this station and drop the bicycle off at the next station. If you plan on bringing your bicycle here on the campus, be sure to register it and make sure that you have a U-shaped lock. The cable locks can be easily defeated, so we want to practice safe practices all the time and use that U-lock. Here's our phone number, and we have social media as well. If you need to send us an email, send it to preventcrime@uh.edu. We ask that you save our phone number in your phone. You can label us UHPD, UH Police. Just know how you're labeling us, so that way if you need us, you can contact us. Emergency and non-emergency.
Thank you so much. We're going to go into a few questions. Is there a security alert system to our phones that we can sign up for, and how do we do that?
What was that question? I'm sorry.
Sure. Is there a security alert system to our phones that we can sign up for, and how do we do that?
So that was the emergency notification, which is a timely notification, which is going to go to your email, and then the emergency notification, which is we need to get in touch with you right now, and that's going to go to your text messaging. So log into Pass and update your information, and make sure your information is completely updated and a full phone number and not half of a phone number.
Okay, thank you. What is the visit limit for student counseling services, and how does the process for finding long-term care work?
That's a great question. Yeah, so the counseling center here, we're set up as a short-term service. That very first walk-in appointment that you have, we basically get a snapshot about what's going on. If long-term care is what you're looking for, we'll likely find a low-cost provider in the community or help you work with your insurance to find someone that you can work with more long-term. Generally, we'll try and do that up front. There's some ethical things that go on. We don't want to start services if we know that we're going to have to end them. There's no hard and fast limit to services, but we just want to basically meet you where you are and address your goals and concerns.
Okay, and following up to that, what is the breakdown between CAPS and the Office of Psychiatric Services?
Breakdown?
Is there a difference, or?
Yeah, so I think, what we were talking about earlier, counseling services is very much kind of like talk therapy, life changes, that sort of thing. At our initial, if you show up at our office first and in that initial appointment where we're getting a snapshot about what's going on and you're interested in medication, or if we think that medication could be really helpful, then we'll refer you to psychiatry, and so we'll send you over to the Health 2 building. So we're in Student Service Center 1, where the Career Services is located. And we'll help you get over to Health 2 to get the psychiatry services if that's something that you're interested in and we think that it could be helpful. So, and vice versa. So if you show up at psychiatry and they think, hey, counseling could be really helpful for some more long-term or life changes, then they'll refer you over to us. And so we work pretty seamlessly there. We'll have you sign some paperwork if you want us to talk back and forth.
Thank you. Are there resources focused for LGBTQI students? Anybody that can answer it?
What was the question again?
Sure. Are there resources that are focused for the LGBTQI community?
So from the health center's perspective, it just really depends on where you are from the T part of that acronym. Just depends on where you are in your transition. if you're like taking the hormone therapy and stuff like that, you may want to, follow up with a specialist, simply because they have more training. For the other parts of the acronym, we definitely have the resources to see you at the Student Health Center. It just depends on whether you want a male provider or a female provider, so it's up to you.
Yeah, in the counseling center, we have, all of our therapists are trained to work with everyone. We also go through an ally training that's offered here on campus through the Resource Center. So definitely all of us are trained in that way. Beyond that, we do have a group that meets, so if you're part of the LGBTQIA community and you're interested in kind of working through some, identity changes, or just kind of if you're exploring that sort of thing, trying to find other allies, that's a good group to join. So that's beyond, specific to that community, but I think my mic just ran out of batteries. So yes, we do offer resources to the community.
Okay, thank you. If I use the school's health insurance, will I be covered during breaks like summer and Christmas?
So for the student health insurance, it allows you to break it down per term period, if you will. You can just get fall-only coverage. You can get fall and spring coverage. You can get fall, spring, and summer coverage. It's really dependent upon what you choose to pay for. But to answer the question, yes, you will be covered during this the fall break. And what was the other part?
Christmas and summer.
Christmas, yes. So if you elect for the summer coverage, you will have coverage up until, I think, the end of August. So it's right when school starts again.
Thank you. Are there any gender-neutral bathrooms here on campus?
Can I answer?
Sure.
Yes, there are, and there is, in the same suite as the Women and Gender Resource Center, that's the building across from this one, there's also an LGBT center as well, and they're a great community. They also offer ally training, and they can provide a lot of information like gender-neutral bathrooms on campus. I believe they have a map on their website as well, but many, many buildings do, yes.
Thank you. Can I get health care for myself and spouse through the university?
For you, definitely. For your spouse, no. But in the Health 2 building, there is a new federal qualified community health center that is open to the general public. We limit our services to the students because people recognize when they're getting good quality care at a low price, and they flood the schedule. And so there's less opportunities for us to see our students, who is our main objective. So what we are now doing is any individual that may have a spouse or even children, they can go downstairs and get the care at that federal qualified community health center.
Is there a dentistry and or a vision location here on campus?
Dentist is in the same suite as that federal qualified community health center in Health 2. Health 1 is the School of Optometry, where they offer exams to the general public as well as students. So the two are connected, so you can get all those services.
Okay. Which vaccine is needed to take, that I need to take for a graduate student? Is there any? And can you provide it at the healthcare center?
We can definitely provide the vaccine. I don't know off the top of my head which one is required. You may want to check with the registrar's office. Generally, I think it's meningitis, but that's more for the undergrads. But we want to verify with them. But either way, we can definitely provide it.
Okay. Does the health center accept payments via Care Credit?
So y'all know the other panelists, right? You know, we can share. We can share. But I'm sorry, what was the question again?
Does the health center accept payments via Care Credit?
Care Credit. Not familiar with that. Is that like whoever?
It's like you can apply for it to like do like surgeries and braces and all that other kind of stuff if you don't have any insurance.
No.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with it, you probably don't
no,
accept
I don't
it.
think so. To answer your question, no, we don't. Sorry.
Can we use scooters to ride between the buildings?
Scooters, well, motorized scooters, there's actually a policy that they're working on. Parking and Transportation is working on that policy right now, which are motorized scooters, but if it is a scooter as far as a health-related, as long as you're not speeding down the sidewalk and pushing people off, it's for health reasons. But as far as like the electric scooters, we do have a policy that is being worked on right now through Parking and Transportation.
I think that varies. Last question. Oh. Yes. Can you get prescriptions from the campus pharmacy
Yes.
with non-student health insurance?
Yes, they take mom and dad's insurance, they take everything. And they are definitely available to fulfill your prescriptions. Again, if you are already on a maintenance drug, and that means something that every 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, you're gonna have to refill, you can get that transferred over to the on-campus pharmacy, and they can fill it at your convenience.
Okay, that's it. Thank you all so much for joining us in this panel. We greatly appreciate it. Oh, I was getting ready to. There we go.
Okay, thank you to all our panelists and speakers this morning. I hope that you have learned a lot about the different resources that we have here at the University of Houston. Before I finish today, I want to thank a few people who made this event possible. So first of all, Chastity Blacklock. I don't know, oh, she's in the back there. She did all of the logistical planning and everything for this event, and she's done a really fantastic job. So thank you to Chastity, also to the rest of the graduate school staff, our regular staff and our student workers as well. They were checking you in and doing all of that work. So please join me in thanking all of the graduate school staff for their efforts in this orientation. So next we have, the next part of our orientation is what we call the Campus Resource Expo. And I projected it up there. I realize it's too small for you to see, but you have this in your package. This little UH Go is on the back of it. So in various rooms around the Student Center, we have a number of our campus partners who are there to provide more information. So if you didn't get your question answered and you want to talk to someone about that, we have a list of people who will be here in different locations for the resource fair. So for example, if you want to know about Graduate Professional Student Association, how to get involved, if you had a question about scholarships, or the LGBTQ Resource Center, all of those representatives and more are here at different locations. So I urge you to go to visit these, and if you visit 3 of those, you'll get your card here punched, and once you visit at least 3, I encourage you to go to more, but at least 3, then you can go pick up your free lunch after you do that. So. One more thing, at 1:30, we have, in the multipurpose room, we have an optional session which will provide information about resources, so how to look for and find a fellowship. We'll have a representative from the library there. We'll have someone from the Office of Research here on campus to talk about research ethics, and then there'll be a session on from the Environmental Health and Safety for our teaching and research assistants as well. So if you are, I urge you to join us for that session as well, starting at 1:30. So I will end here. I encourage you to visit the Resource Expo, enjoy your lunch, and welcome to UH. Thank you.